Hello to everyone, this is Vishal. Now we have another tutorial of the day, that is the login view model using the retrofit. So the most important task is that as we go inside with the view model, we have to create a logics inside that and make a methods inside that. That is the part of that session. And also be the retrofit is more interesting because of I already worked with a simple retrofit example. RX Java simple we have done, and RX with retrofit we have done. But today I will show to you how to send the post request using the retrofit when you use your login uh, API calling. Okay, so that's we have to work today. And first, I'm giving thanks to all who subscribe me, who are new subscribers, and who watching my videos, my users, and who share the videos. I really appreciate them and their efforts. And you put in the comments that I will solve time to time and give you some more videos related to that. Okay, so continue within this tour with me. Okay, so this simple steps we have to work today. That's we have a data binding, login view model, and the retrofit. Three things we have to cover. And the login view model is a base in which we have to do some operations that I will show to you. And retrofit part, that how we can send the data as in a form URL encoded post and then retrieve a message from the local server side. So that's the part we have to cover. And as I described to you on my Volley tutorial, how we can make a JSON call and get the data in the your main activity by the view holder. But that is the small session in which we have called the methods inside the main activity. But what happen if we have to work the logics inside the view holder? So that I will show to you that how we can create the logics inside the view model. For before that, I am just describe the 5 minutes the responsibilities of the view model, because of as if somebody asks to you in the interview or say why we use the model, what the responsibility and why you make this MVVM approaches. So one thing is that the data binding technique is easy and we have shortened the code of that, and lot of things be very easy in that. But how we can create the logics inside, so that's the responsibility that we have exposing the data, we have exposing the states just like your progress, empty, error, and handle visibility. That I will show you that how to handle the visibility today. That's also be important task. And how we can input the validation, that I already done one of my tutorial, but if you want then I will show to you again, but not today. So today the topic is how you handle the visibility and also be how you execute the methods inside the view model for the view. So that's we have to cover. So that's the responsibilities as in my screen that I will share for I mean on the GitHub, you can download it. And then the other important task we have to cover with this, that is how to start a service, how to bind a service, how to send a broadcast, register the receiver, and load resource value. So in coming videos I will also be explain these things in the view model, how we can use these kind of tasks that we needed in our app. So that's the important uh, topic, so we can share to you now. Okay, so that's the thing. And one more thing we have to cover, that form URL encoded and query parameter. Just be the difference is that when we need it, we need a field and in which we have to put the post on that. We call the secure sending, and the query parameter is just for simply get. Okay, so that you already work be and know the difference between these two. And what we have to cover, so we have a login view, we have a login view model, and we have a retrofit. So these three we have to cover, how we can achieve, how we can make a logic. Now we have start the tour on the Android Studio. Okay, now we have to start it on Android Studio. Yeah, so first thing is your data binding enable is equal to true. That's the mandatory step. That's the first. And the second is we have to use these compilations as we did in retrofit. You have a JSON, retrofit, and converter JSON. So if you need anything or any help, related to these convert files, so you can watch my previous video that is on retrofit. So now we have to go for the layout, that is the most important, in which we have to work, that is your activity main, and just design it simple edit text match parent, a simple login form we have to design, and here just IDs to below and above the changes in as we need in layouts. So no need of to access it because of we are working with data binding. So just give it the username or whatever we, and we have a top margin top, make it a 20 dp, and this is your text size, it's your 20 dp, and make a text color as being a white. I have some colors on my colors XML, and okay, these things we, and one more need, we need a hint. Hint is say user name, and hint color is your white. Okay, so just copy it, paste it, and say user pass, and say user pass. Okay, so that's be the simple design, and make it a below of that ID. So that's the use of ID here, otherwise no need of this user name. Okay, so this to be ready, and now we need a button, and button be your match parent, wrap contents, and text color be white, and text size be 22 dp, and text is login. Okay, and make it a parent bottom true. That's it. Okay, fine. No need of this text be here, and background color we make it a green, and background color of the button make it a red one. So let's see what's our design. Yeah, so that's it, simple login view. Okay, and one more thing, that as I described to you the visibility of the progress bar using the view model. So this is the progress bar, and match parent wrap contents, and just ID is no use, but just for if we need some changes on layout, and center in parent be true. Okay, so that's be our, see, the progress bar. Okay, so that's the design. Now the design is ready. Don't waste your time on it, just come on the basic views on. Okay, so first create the packages for our remote, then our view model, and then our presenter. Okay, so these things, and now presenter, in presenter I have to create the interfaces that we did many times, because of we have to send the query, so we need a button click, and for this what to do, make a presenter, so we can set the presenter. Yeah, and in this presenter I have to make a method, that is login data. So this is our login data, and now in a view model we have to create a view model class login view model. Just means basic structure we are first implement, then we go for the uh, description in it and implementation in it. So make it observable, and observable you have to put java.util observable. Okay, so and one more thing, because of you have to call the functions, so we need a context, and we need a context like a context, and make a constructor of this login view model, and this is our context and context. Okay, and so say this dot context is equals to context. So that's it. And now presenter and activity main. So we have to bind the things. For the binding, what we need it, I think in this you all be the champ, because of you know well how to can do this bindings. So make a layout. Now we have to work with the data. No need of the class name of the data, because of we working with the simple. This is your name, make it login view, and for this we need com model view model login view model. Okay, so that's we, and one more variable we have to set for the presenter. This is your com dot presenter, that's b, and make this layout be below. Okay, and use this namespaces on the top. This is very easy. Okay, so these things be ready for you. Login view model presenter, everything is there. Yes, that's fine. So now we have to call this on the button, so say on click and add the brackets, and the brackets what we say, we make a view calling, so that's your presenter dot, what's the name of this, login data. So we have to call this login data here. Okay, so first we have to check this function, and here we have a login view model and main activity. So now we have to work with the main activity, say private, because of the rest work of view model will be the logic, so we'll describe it after the activity binding. So activity main binding, activity main binding, and we can say it activity main binding is equals to data binding, sorry, data binding util, and this is your this comma our r dot layout dot activity main, maybe so set content, sorry, set content view. Okay, so that is, and this is fine for the activity main binding. Now activity main binding dot set presenter new presenter, so we can call it here. And as we do not make a logic in the activity today, so this work we done in your logic view model. So for this we need to call this logic model be here, login view model be here, so that is your login view model, and this login view model is equals to new login view model, and say this is the context of that. Okay, fine, and activity main binding dot set login view, and that is your login view model. That's it. So there is a connectivity between these two. Nothing else we have to work in it. Okay. And if you want to check it whether your function be the working or the or other things are working, you just create a small function for show test toast. So you can later be remove this. No need of the functions be here. Your activity is just a very few code be in it. Okay, so make test and say this and message and toast dot length long dot show, and this is your message. That's it. Okay, so this is our show toast. So we can click it and check it. This is a login activity call. Okay, so this is the login activity call. Because of we have to call the we have to get the data from the retrofit. So what to do for that? In a login view model, we have to create one more function, public void send login request. Okay, so you can call this function be here in the main activity. So you can say it, that is login view model dot send login request. Okay, and if you want to also be go in a depth, that means you want to be check that your function is working in login view model, so you just make one more be toast here just for checking. So here you need a context. Okay, just simple. So say show toast inside login view model, and after testing you will remove it. No need of that show toast be here. So this be the functions be here. Okay, now we have to go for the remote. That is the most important, and so we need a Java file API service and make it as a interface. As I told you in retrofit, the same thing we have to work, but that is important. And uh, listen and see the carefully because of how you can use the form URL encoded data. So that's important task to say add form URL encoded. You see that? Okay, it's showing the error till we make it a post. We need a post. Okay, and then in a post we need two parameters. uh, Whenever you use the form URL encoded, you need at least one parameter because of that means we have to send something to the server. So we need it on the post way because of it is secure, and the other is your simple query dot get view that I already described to you how to use the get. Okay, so here I'm talking about the post. So post, and this is my local file login view, and the name is and login tab php. If you see that under this folder, because of instead of localhost we have to put whatever be our IP. Okay, so and this is our login tab.php. So say login view and login tab.php. Let's see one more time. Spelling is fine. Login tab.php. Login tab.php. Okay, so this is your post value, and now what to do? We need a call, and because of on returning string on PHP my side is just simple string, that means the message whether the login I mean the user be uh, there, that means authenticate or not. So the simple message is login if it is yes, or if that's not now username password not matches, that means error. So that I have to show to you. Okay, whatever your message, you just how you can get the message from the server, that is the important task. So say uh, user login call, make it. And in user login call we have to set two parameters. For that we need a field. So first field, that is for the user name set. It's the same parameter as it in your PHP site, okay, when you receive it. So the same parameter you have to put on that, and here you can say it is a string user, sorry, string user name, and the same thing, I'm sending the parameter. Second parameter is your user pass, and this is your string user pass. Now everything is fine. So our interface be ready to call this user login call. So whenever we send these two fields be there, we can retrieve a string message on my site, either the login or the error. Okay, and now we have to make one more class in a remote, that is called a retro class. This is your retro class, yeah. And in retro class, what to do? We have a first we need a base URL, private, static. You have to put all your base URL be here for the retros. String base URL, and this base URL we have HTTP and one, my localhost be on 192.132 point sorry 192.162.168, sorry, it's a 132.2, okay, and no need of slash because of we already be slash here, double slashes be the wrong, so here no need of to slash. Okay, so this your private static base URL, and we need a private static retrofit, and that retrofit method be get retrofit instance. So we have to create the instance, and in this we have to return, and in returning what to do, we need a new retrofit dot builder dot base URL, this is your base URL, and dot we need a add converter factory, and that is your JSON converter factory dot create dot build, because of no need of RX Java be here. If you're working with the RX Java, then you have to make that adapter. Okay, so this is a simple add convert factory we have to put, but the problem is it converted within the JSON and there is mail functioning issues. So do for that, as I have seen in yes, Stack Overflows. So many have this kind of. So for that you need a JSON. How to solve that? I mean, how you can get your simple string data from the server? That is the important. So for that, JSON is your new and you need a JSON builder. Okay, so that is important, and say set lenient and say dot create, and that's it. So that means it convert into, and that create you have to say JSON, that means it JSON converted be convert the simple string to u, and that is a public static API service, and just call this API service. Okay, and then in API service we have to return get retro instance dot your create, and what we have to create, API service dot class. So the things be ready. We need just retro class be here, and API service retro class inside your login view models, and we have to call this function because of we are working with the login view model, not in main activity. So what to do, you just simply say API service that is your retro class dot get API service. Okay, it's very single line. So that's very interesting and easy to work with the retrofit. Okay, so this is your API service, and now what to do for your calling be okay, so make a call. So our call is a kind of string, and in this call we need a you say user response, and yeah, you can say it login response. That is good. Login response as a API service dot user login. At the same, I'm sending the static data. Later I will describe you how you can put it with the edit text. Okay, just for checking. So this is the first way to work, and this login response dot enqueue new call, that's it. And if you want to go for the show toast, and you say that is our response dot body dot to string. Okay, and if you want to go for this show toast, and you can say it, this is your t dot get message if there be some error. So that's it, and this is our send. So whenever we use with this login view model and call this main activity, we can get our retrofit values. And here we can say this is your main Android manifest, so use user permission internet, that's it. So that's the work we have to do. Okay, so now we have to check first this thing, it get data, then I will describe you how you can use the visibility and these functions be used in it. So just go for the Genymotion, and first we have to run this for checking. Then we go for this your observable, how it works and why we need it. That's the most important. Once it's clicked, then we go for. Okay, so we start the Genymotion and let's see. Okay, so let's see what happened in it. Here already we static value there. Say this is the login activity that is inside the login view model, and yeah, that is the login because of we have a name Vishal. But if you're using some other name, because of there is authentication name, I put it username and password be Vishal. If I'm using some other, that means it show me the error from the server side. Okay, so till it working, I mean it's running. I'm using the progress bar. How we can use the progress bar, that is very interesting. So make it a public because of we have to access it on the layout. So make it a public observable int because of progress bar is working on int. Say how. This is your progress bar, and say progress bar is equals to, that is the new observable int, and that int be, you have to put it view dot gone. So first I have to, there is no progress bar at very first time, and when you send the request, no need of this inner show toast. Okay, so when you send the request, that means you have to set that value of the progress bar. So how to set that? Say progress bar dot set, and that the value is view dot visible. So easy. And once the function be done, you say it gone. That means when you receive data or if you receive error, anyone. So that means we have to say the gone is still there. Okay, and then in your progress bar, what to do? You can say it is a app, and here you say visibility. Okay, so this is your visibility. Spelling is fine. Okay, and this is a uh, okay. So first you have to make add, and what is the above? This is a login view, and in this login view you say it is a login view dot your, what's the name of the progress bar in the model? Say it is a, it's the same name you have to put in here. So that means you can hide or visible the things using the view model. Okay, so just let's see it once it working. Okay, so you can see that the state is gone at very first time. Okay, and here I have put it the name as Vishal123. That means we will get some error from the server side. So whenever I click the login, see here, you can see the progress bar, login activity, it's show me error, and whenever I receive it, progress hide. So lot of work of the progress bar that we have to find the ID and then get it, and you can show it, and everywhere you can that means you can go on the visibility and then show the visibility. So that's a lot of work on that. So it reduces in a single login view model with these three lines. So I think it's very easy, and hope, I mean, it's will good for you in the future. So that is very easy progress bar. Now we have to work with two more field, that is we have to retrieve the data from the edit text, because of we need a login view model data from the XML site. So what to do for that? You can make it as a public. So here you have to make your field be final observable. You make a observable field, because of we need observable, say observable field. Okay, so that's B. And which kind of field do you want? This is your string kind of field, because of we have a we need a data in the form of string from the edit text. And you give the name to this username, and that username be as a new observable field. And here you can make it as because of it getting null values, so you pass the string there, so you can't get the null value. That is also be the Stack Overflow question I have seen somewhere. Okay, so that means you can make it as a pass. So these two fields be ready. So that means we have to get fetch this on data be using the edit. So what to do? You can put it as in a text, and in the text at equal, because of we getting the data, set that is your login view dot username. You can see that here easily, and the same thing you have to apply on here. login user pass. That means we get data from the edit text. Okay, that's good. And now in a main activity, what to do for the data? Okay, because of we are binding the activity here, so we need the data as I think you go for, okay, no need of this show toast now. You go for final string name, and this is your activity main binding dot username. Okay, dot get text dot to string. That means we can get data here. Copy. This is your pass. This is your user pass. Okay, so that the things be ready, and now once we get it, we have to pass this in name comma pass. So that means we have to change this method. So we go for the login model and say string name comma string pass, and we retrieve the data here, and then say username is name and the user pass is pass. So that means we have to call whatever with our data from the edit text we send to the our retrofit. Okay, so that's the thing, that's the scenario be over, and we run it. So that means what we learn the execution of the function inside the login view model, and also be how you can hide and show the visibility of the progress bar or anything whatever be your requirement according to your app. And the thing is most important, how the retrofit work as in post. So we did it in very simple manner and very interesting way. Okay, so just wait for it and then see the result of the edit text. Okay, let's see what will be the final version. Yeah, so this is, we can say it is a Vishal, and Vishal, yeah, this is your login. And if you work with the 1 2 3 or anything you want to put it, error. See, the progress is just hide because of we take it in a local server. See here, you can see that it is visible, then hide. This is your Vishal. Yeah, okay. So if you work with a slow network, or your server be some other place, so it show you perfectly on that. But the main motive is how you can implement it, and also be you can put it your that means you can cross check the things whether you put the input field be empty or not. That also be you can check it on your login model. That means your validations checks. So the login view model, it works for all the things be your that means your visibility handling, and your validations, your methods, and function callings also. So that's the work, and very in a very easy way. So no need to work load on your main activity. So that's it, and today we have got to wind up. Thank you so much for the day.